too. There's still a lot of moisture. And so one thing I did, guys, is when this came out of the oven, you didn't see it right when it came out, is I basted this with that broth that we cooked it in, just so it kept on soaking in and absorbing that liquid. Just to keep it nice and juicy. So
that is sounding so good, amigo.
we got that sliced
That's
up.
the way to do it.
Bam.
Getting ready for game time over here.
Yep.
We got our jus pretty much, I think, basically probably ready to go.
Yeah, more or less. And you know, you want that jus to be a consistency where it's kind of clinging to the soup a little, or to the spoon a little bit. But
here, let me hand the camera off just for a second.
Yeah.
Because I think what we're going to do to thin this out is actually use just a little bit of this au jus.
okay.
So I think it might be a real nice little accompaniment. So maybe just start with like a couple tablespoons.
Okay.
And see where that gets
See where we're at.
Because you're probably not going to need a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, that right there already
That's
changed
probably
it up.
might be pretty good right there.
Yeah.
Actually,
I agree.
I would say it needed a little more pepper.
I would agree with that
Agree
too.
with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we'll throw a little bit of pepper in there, everybody at home.
Bam.
Then we'll get back to some fantasy football as we kind of tie this all together.
Yeah.
What are some of your big matchups this week that you're looking at? There's some really interesting games.
Yeah, I was surprised this year, and I mean, not that it doesn't happen every year, but a lot of division games right out the gate, you know, and if there's obviously a game that matters more than, yeah, it's a division game. So, you know, people always want to talk about, oh, it's week one, nobody wins or loses in week one, and while that may be true, there's still some implications that can be had for week one when you're playing a division game. So, yeah, I would say the more interesting games for me are like the divisional games for that reason, for reasons that it's actually going to matter. It can have an effect come down the road.
No doubt. We got a number though. We got the Giants and the Cowboys.
Giants, Cowboys.
We have the Bears and the Packers.
Right,
obviously,
Bears, Packers.
Which we're doing that for.
Wasn't it the Chargers, Broncos?
Broncos, Raiders.
Broncos, Raiders. Excuse me.
For
yeah.
sure.
So
So those are some exciting games. And talking about Broncos, Raiders, up's the late game Monday night, and you think there's going to be some big stats in the late night? Because we got Texans, Saints.
that's going to be
and then
stats.
Raiders, Broncos.
Stats.
Raiders,
Muchos.
Broncos could secretly be like a huge stat game.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It could be like, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not going to watch the whole game because
You're an old man.
I'm an old man. My bedtime's like 10 o'clock these days. But I wouldn't be surprised to wake up and be like 35-28 or 35-31.
Hey, if you're buying into the Raiders offense, it very well could be that. You're absolutely right. But I'm curious.
These buns rolling.
Yeah, you're right. I'm curious. I'm gonna switch it off to you real quick.
Let's do it.
I'm curious to see. I want to see Josh Jacobs, man. I want to see, you know, what all the hype is about. And I get it to an extent, but like, let's see him do it in an NFL game. And you know, it's always fun seeing rookies. I love seeing rookies and how they're going to perform and how they're going to do. Last year, I drafted Saquon Barkley as a rookie, and you know, that paid off pretty well. So I'm curious to see, especially rookie running backs. Rookie running backs can come in and have an impact immediately, not near the extent that wide receivers tend to. So it'll be cool to see Josh Jacobs in a primetime game.
I agree with that for sure. That whole Raiders team, everyone's, you know, just assuming the Raiders are going to suck this year, but there's a lot of hype around their fantasy players, and it doesn't always translate into wins, but there's a lot of times if you put up a ton of fantasy football stats, multiple players on one team, the team might not be that terrible.
No, I agree. I mean, there's still gonna there's gonna be stats to be had whether they're, you know, a top offense or not. There's just no way around it. So
okay, so let's do a couple of what do you want to do? A little rapid fire matchups, maybe?
Yeah.
Give you a matchup. You give me some players you're thinking about while we toast these buns. Everybody at home, why don't give them a little 1-2 real quick on this perfect bun toast.
Bam! I like where we started with the Monday night. So we kind of spoke on Oakland and San Diego.
Oakland and Denver.
Excuse me, Denver. But Denver, you know, the running backs there, Freeman and Philip Lindsay. Weird situation. Or is it Devontae Booker? I'm sorry. There's
Devontae Booker's there, Philip Lindsay, and Royce Freeman.
Yeah, so Denver running backs, man, that's a tough one to call. I don't know. You know, like, I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah, I almost think just don't play any of them until you see something.
Right, exactly.
So hopefully, but which one are you on? Do you want Philip Lindsay?
Yeah, I want Philip
I think
Lindsay.
so too.
Just for the upside.
I'm bullish on Antonio Brown this week. I think he's going to come out of the gate with a big stat, and I have him on a couple teams, so I'm looking forward to that potential.
Nice.
And you're obviously looking forward to Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and then I think on the other Monday night game, we got some interesting running back action. I'm really high on Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson is going way too low in drafts, and I think he's going to get a ton of action. And I think Houston's going to rely on him a lot more than I think people are giving credit. I think they're going to really look to him to be the lead back, and that's going to be a lot of value. And then on the New Orleans side, having Latavius Murray new to the team, I'm curious to see how much.
Yeah, I'm kind of bullish on him this year.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how much he's going to be included in that New Orleans offense. So
because Mark Ingram was always a pretty big part of it in a lot of ways.
Yep, and then you got Alvin
those
Kamara.
nice toasted buns right there.
Beautiful buns. Beautiful buns. So
let's give a couple sleepers real quick for the season on the Raiders. I think you guys should keep your eye on Hunter Renfrow and Waller, the tight end, to see how they're involved in the offense if you are watching that game, because Renfrow was real good in college, and Waller looks like he could be a really, really good tight end.
yeah.
And they usually throw it to the tight end a good amount. At least they did last year. And probably going to continue even with Antonio Brown.
I completely agree.
But yeah, let's switch back over to that Saints game, because that's going to be huge stats probably, right?
Yeah, that's going to be stupid stats. Crazy stats. Mad stats.
You think like 31-28 or more?
Yeah, probably
or
right there. It's probably 31-28, that type game.
That's what Daniel's got.
But who do you have to... let's switch it. Who's the number one... No, not quarterbacks excluded. Who's the number one fantasy point scorer for that game?
Ooh, dang, that's a tough... I'm hoping it's my boy Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Michael Thomas.
But, man, how about DeAndre Hopkins?
Going new?
Man, let's go DeAndre Hopkins.
Which I think is a fair thing to do. I'm actually going to
How about
go. I'm
you?
going to stick by my guns and go Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
Hot takes. More than Alvin Kamara.
Wow.
I think he's just...
El Fuerte. Mucho. Bold.
They're going to rely on him, man. Deshaun's going to be dumping those little passes off Duke Johnson to make it happen. Dude.
That is probably true. He's pretty good.
He's really good.
So you're saying daily fantasy, definitely play Duke Johnson this week?
Man, scoop him
on the cheap
immediately for sure.
So who would you pair him with at the expensive?
At the
who you want to pay? Who are you paying for? And you're like, I know he costs top 5 money, but
Zeke.
I'm paying top 5.
Yeah.
Zeke for sure.
Easy. Yeah, it's not even if you're really thinking about those top 5 running backs between Zeke, Kamara, Saquon, McCaffrey, and David Johnson, it's Zeke.
Damn.
I don't even know how close that is.
You think David Johnson has a chance to be the highest fantasy football point scorer this week, even with playing at home against Detroit? No, it says no. Okay.
I just don't think the offense is going to have enough juice. Like, there's not going to be enough touchdowns for David Johnson to really rack up the points.
I gotcha. All right, let's finish this up real quick, and then we'll talk more fantasy football.
Yeah, we're pretty much there with our sauces.
You want to bottle those sauces up real quick?
Yeah, let me
get the dippy dip party started.
Dip.
Let's show everybody what we finished products. So we got the jus right there. Simple and easy, guys, to make. This is like, just a little conversation over some fantasy football while you...
That's all we're doing. That's all it is.
While you make a nice little meal. And this could probably be enough for like a real heavy snack for, I would say, like 7 or 8 people.
Bro, this is a meal, bro.
A meal. Yeah, these things do turn out. They're stout.
2 of these. I had 1 of these.
I hardly finished one.
I was like, my God, what have we done? So all we're going to do, guys, is just strain this like we did the first
But
time.
not because they're not amazingly delicious.
Back into the here.
Ooh, let's check that out.
Bam. Look at how nice and look at that dark. Oh, the camera. Look at how dark that is. Oh,
what happened
Lord
to the-
Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Dude, how did that thing just fall out?
What? Was this not tight enough?
Oh, sorry, man.
No, it's just okay.
All right. We don't need the microphone.
We don't need it.
Take it off here.
We'll do it live, man.
All right, guys. We're a little malfunctioning.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
I'll figure this microphone out situation later.
Let's get the focus going again. What's up with the focus?
Are we still okay?
I think so.
Did it keep recording still? I think we're gonna have to figure out how to edit it for for now.
Yep, we're still going,
Wow.
but it won't focus.